Hello everyone. So I did a video, and from that, in doing that video, I started thinking about some issue that I'm always talking about, and I just say let me just do it here. And that's this issue. Honestly, it should worry every one of us. It's on the fact that children education in Nigeria is dependent on the economic status of one's family. So how rich your parents are depends on what kind of school that you are going to and the kind of people that you'll be meeting. How did I uh, start thinking about it? This thing happened, it was in 2014. And one day we were just sitting down with my daughter. Then she was like 12 years, she was 12 years old then. And we were having a conversation, myself, herself, and her dad. And we were all talking. And then we just said something. And my daughter said, so I can't remember what it was we were talking about, but the main thing that my daughter said was that everybody has international passport. So we started laughing. And we said, no, it's not everybody that has international passport. Because, and you can't blame her. My 12-year-old daughter assumed that everybody travels abroad, everybody in Nigeria. We're like, no, it's not everybody. She looked at us, she was like, oh, well, everybody she knows travels abroad and they have international passport. And for me, I just like, okay, this pikin no know wetin dey happen o. Hey, be like say ajepo level na enter her head. She no know say kpako level stay. It was such, when you have this moment where you have paradigm shift, that was the kind of thing that I felt. I'm like, oh my goodness. And that was when I started thinking, oh yeah, because she was like, and it's true. And even in the school where she was then, the regional secondary school, now we don't even get money. They struggle. They send our children to that kind of school. A lot of children, because they were all children of, even then the vice president's son was in her class. All of these governors' children, ministers' children, Kiniko's children, who is who in Nigeria, they were all there. There are all some of them, they even travel with private jet. It is us that we are managing to buy ticket, these things when we want to travel and all of that. And I started thinking about this, and I'm like, wow, what are we doing in Nigeria? In those days, during my time, people met in before my time, people met in public schools, because during my time, when I started entering secondary school, the public schools have started going bad. It was just those unity schools and co that were still really doing well, but the public schools were already a bit way bad. But before my own generation, people met in schools. Like my husband is 12 years older than me, so in his own time you find that children of governors, whatever, commissioners and all of that, they were all in the same school, both rich and poor. They met in primary school, they met in secondary school, because there were no private schools. And then finally later, when they started having private schools, those people that fail and they cannot enter public school, that they will now find themselves to go to a private school, and nobody really wanted to go to private schools. So in those generations, you all met, whether you were poor, the child of a gate man will be in the same class with the child of the governor, and there was nothing bad about it. And that's the way the public school system were very good. So coming back to my own set, it started changing, and so you now find out that there were not a lot of private schools, that unity schools, and most times the children of the a good number of children of the rich were the ones, they actually passed the unity schools more, because they were the ones that they had access to private schools. They were already in private schools that were doing very well, not like those of us that were in government schools, government primary schools and all of that weren't doing very well. Although there are some who are very brilliant that see crossover and get into all of these schools, but mostly, there was still a bit of that elitism involved in it. Then you come down to my own set, but at least worse we will meet in the university. If we don't meet in primary school, we don't meet, we shall meet, we were meeting in the university. So you see found children of these rich people, whatever. Although in my own case, people like us, we just kept to ourselves, so we don't want me, I don't want anybody to see me anyhow. Those children of rich people, I used to say, I don't used to mingle with them. I used to be on my own, because I don't want disrespect. But if you are not, please, connection is very important, network is important. All of those are friends that used to follow them, will be looking at them and see you are doing follow. When they leave school, now they come, they get jobs, because na man no man, they already know them. So when they are putting their children, the BB people, when they are putting their children CV, they also put their CV. We that we do, no, we don't want disrespect. See us here, we they still look for job. I've never worked to, up till now, I'm sure I should be calling myself number one applicant. Now work where I no get, that make me go start business. So I'm so glad I did that business. I like my mouth, otherwise I for no get mouth, they talk to government anyhow. Imagine if I was a civil servant who born me. or if I was a public servant. But because I'm a market woman, I can do it. Anyway, let me not digress. Let me come back to what I was talking about. So we all met in schools, right? But now it is no longer the case. Primary school is dependent on the school fees. Like the school, like the secondary school that my kids went to here, the regional secondary school, primary, as of 2011, right? Yeah, 2011 was when we came to Abuja. We needed to do this. Yeah, it was 2011. School fees was $25,000. Bam. This, what do you call it? Development fee was, acceptance fee was $1,000. Then by the time my daughter was entering, my daughter entered in 2012, development fee was $1,200. You dey pay, you pay. If you no pay, waka your own dey go. They no even say. But later on, they now changed. I think that when they had that, there was a CBN ruling or something that, oh, they should stop charging in dollars. They now transferred it to naira. By the time dollars started climbing like mad, I was like, how can people pay school fees? But anyway, so when you see that kind of school, it's not everybody that is there, it's the people that can afford it. And it takes a lot. So you find out that children within that circle, that's why my daughter was thinking that everybody has international passport and they travel abroad, because it is that circle. So you find the ones that school fees, there are certain places where the school fees is 50,000. It is people that can afford within that circle, and then a few people who strive to, there are people who strive, and then people who really wouldn't be bothered. There are some people, even if they have millions and millions, some of them will send their children to public school. They don't even care, that kind of a thing. But the majority is people of the same economic status that are coming together. So in primary school, they don't meet anymore. In secondary school, they don't meet anymore. Sadly, in university now, they don't meet anymore. When are they going to meet? When they are all adults. Then one day they now wake up and they are finding each other working together. Where, don't we see that this can pose a problem for Nigeria in the next 20, 30, 40 or 50 years? We're now having a segregated, there's almost, it will now be like almost like a caste system, segregated population, society, the haves and the haves not, and then resentment will build, and a whole lot of things. And that's the problem we have with this issue of education being dependent on the economic status of one's family. We really need to do something about it. I don't think it's something that we should just allow to continue the way they are. Whatever we need to do, education should be something that it should be made in such a way that it's accessible to everybody. Good quality education. And we are not saying private schools will always be there, but they should be private schools, yes, not the one that anyhow mushroom whatever blah blah blah. If we have good quality education in our public schools, primary and secondary, a lot of private schools will close up. They won't even be able to compete. Then you now have the ones, is those standardized hyper ones that will be there. Like in the UK, there are a lot of private schools. When my children left, because when they finish, they go for the school that my son went to. When he finished it's a private school. Whether you are a UK citizen or whether you pay. The one they went for their A levels that joined them, got this, is still a private school. These are top private school, posh school. They are there, no doubt about it. But the government schools are still there. Even though the government schools are not as good as those posh, but they are still good quality. They still give good quality education, and these are the things that we should be doing. A lot of things in this country, honestly, they should worry us, not just because it's not about if we are enjoying, then forget about this thing. As long as the other person is not how do they say, it's not sleeping, you know, if you sleep. If your children have gone to school and the children of the poor have not gotten good quality education, guess what? The children that you have spent millions for their education, these other children will not allow them to have a country that they will enjoy. That's what we're already having right now in our country. So it's in our own interest for life to be good for everybody. That's one thing that people don't understand. One person having money in a family or in a or few people in a, it's everybody not having. It's better everybody has everybody is fulfilled, everybody is okay. Then all of us, we can all be having fun at our own different levels, and people will be doing well. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.